welcome to the second show of the Peekaboo Show.
Yay!
My name is Dina Felice.
And I'm Donna Deal.
And we have a special guest with
we
us
do.
today.
Yes.
We have the owner, Lenee Johnson of the Check-In.
Yay!
Hi, lady.
Hi, Lenee. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're great.
Good, good. You guys look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're excited to have you on here today speaking about mental health because this is the holidays and I know it's a stressful time for everybody.
Yes.
Yes. So can you please tell us more about your business?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my name is Lenee Johnson. I am the founder of the Check-In and I'm also a mental health professional. I work with patients who have like schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline personality disorders, Fragile X, autism, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with all of them. I absolutely love what I do. So I wanted to bring it on a larger scale, and that's why I founded the Check-In. And at the Check-In, we really would like to advocate and motivate people to really check in with themselves and check in with their families. And that means just making sure that you are emotionally okay, you're physically okay, mentally, spiritually okay. And then also that translates into your family to check in, to teach them to check in with themselves.
Right.
That's why I founded the Check-In.
So one thing I forgot to mention, you sent us a gift.
Yes, I did. I did.
have it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you like it.
Oh, I guarantee you will. But yeah, let's open it now. Let's see what she said.
I love gifts. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
That's one of my favorite mugs. I love that mug.
Love yourself.
Absolutely. It
this
says
is
enough.
very
Love yourself.
I love it. Love yourself. Where can we get these? What do you have more? Where can
I do. On my website, which is thecheckinonline.com, I have a tab. It's called Start the Conversation. And the reason why we started Start the Conversation was because mental health is really hard to talk about. A lot of people move away from talking about mental health. So we wanted to create different products where people can have it on their desk. We have mouse pads, we have cups, tumblers, travel blankets, all different types of stuff. And when people see that product, they do exactly what you just did. And they're like, oh my God, it's so cute. Where'd you get that mug? And so you can start the conversation about mental health. I went to visit a site called the Check-In, and they talk about mental health resources, and they also have products. So that's why we call it Start the Conversation. So I'm glad you enjoyed. That is absolutely one of my favorite mugs. I sent it to my aunt, and she absolutely loves it.
Yeah, and you know what's also important, because my mother told me my dad used to do this, and she told me I should do it too. I used to do it too. Is always put affirmations about yourself. I used to have it all over my closet just so you can see it every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Dina. I encourage you to continue to do that. I've been doing it for years. I have affirmations right here. Mm-hmm. Every day when I walk out into my office, I see my affirmations. I have them on my phone. I post them on my site. I just recite them. And I also go on YouTube and I listen to positive affirmations, because people don't realize the power of the mind.
Right.
If you feed your mind negativity, that's how you will be. You're always going to be reactionary. You're always going to be reacting negativity. But if you feed your spirit positivity, you can't help but be a positive person. So I do groups on it with my patients, and I encourage people, when they're going through sicknesses or illnesses or anxiety or depression or the holidays, do positive affirmations. It's just the most simplest way to lift your spirit.
People tend to go crazy during the holidays.
They do. It's a really, really stressful time. In mental health, I really focus on the holidays with my patients, because not all holidays are happy for people.
Right.
And it's not always about gifts and family and all that. Right now, everything has been taken away from us. Mm-hmm. Everything. Our family, our friends, our social circle, going to the gym, getting our nails done, getting our hair done, doing everything that we know to be normal in our life has really been taken away from us. So we really, we really do need to focus on ourselves during this holiday. We're going to be spending a lot of time with ourselves. So really just nurture yourself, love yourself, get to know yourself,
Exactly. I have a question. What are the signs? How can you spot the signs of mental health issues? How can you spot?
So when I talk to my patients and I talk to my students, I let them know that your body is going to let you know when you are dealing with something. Whether if you ate something bad, what does your stomach do? It lets you know.
Hurt. Right.
Exactly. It's going to hurt. You're going to get nauseous. You're going to vomit. Okay. Something is going to happen. If you've caught a virus, same thing. You're going to start sneezing. You're going to start coughing. You're going to start getting body aches, fever. So your body, your mind gives you these mental cues for you to be able to address these issues. So if you start to see that you have lack of concentration, lack of learning, maybe you're in school and you used to be on it. I can learn everything really quick, but now this week I'm struggling. This month, this year, I've been struggling. Lack of concentration, being able to absorb things and remember things. Your appetite, maybe your appetite has gone down. Maybe you are not engaging with your friends as much as you used to. Maybe you're withdrawing, you're pulling away. Maybe you're not going to the gym like you used to be going to the gym. Maybe you're worried, you have fear, you have anxiety, you have paranoia. These are a lot of different telltale signs that, especially if you're going through them for a long extended period of time, like if you're 3, 4, 6 months, a year, sometimes people go through these symptoms for a year. If it is not getting better with the measures that you are trying to, do to take care of these things, you need to go talk to somebody, and it's okay. It's okay, because some people have what's called situational depression. I have a cousin that when the seasons change and we start going into, he lives where it snows. I live in beautiful California, so I don't know what that is. So where he lives, snow, that seasonal change for him, it changes his mood. He gets depressed. He gets sad. He misses his family. He withdraws. And he was going through that for years. And I told him, you probably have seasonal depression. Go talk to somebody. Get a diagnosis. And he did. So guess what he does when the seasons change? He leaves. He already knows.
Sunny.
But you know what?
Exactly.
That's crazy, because see, a lot of people in our community, they don't think they need it.
Right.
They think it's for crazy people, what they call crazy people. And, a lot of us, almost everybody has some type of mental illness.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Donna. And when people hear about mental illness, they think schizophrenia, they think bipolar, they think the worst of the worst. But the truth of the matter is that there's so many there's hundreds of different mental health disorders out there. And 9 times out of 10, your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your kid, they might be dealing with a mental health disorder, because there's depression, that's a mental health disorder, bipolar, there's ADD, there's ADHD, there's dementia, there's Alzheimer's. People don't categorize that as a mental health disorder, but it is, because it deals with your mind. It's cognitive. Right. So a lot of us know people that have children that have ADD or ADHD. So that also brings on anxiety, depression, all these other different symptoms. But we think the worst of the worst when we hear about mental health. We think about the strange person on the street who is disheveled and dirty and talking to unseen others and, growling and, scaring us. But that is not the true picture of mental health. The true picture is us.
Right.
We deal with anxiety on a day-to-day basis. We deal with depression. We deal with those small little, little things that we think, oh, it's nothing, it's my job. But you need to dig deeper into it if you are dealing with it for a long, extended period of time.
Right.
Well, and another thing in the Black community, I know we gonna just pray it away.
Yeah.
Just pray. It's okay. Prayer is everything, right? Because without faith, you don't have prayer, right?
Yeah.
But because I have, my mother is a mental health professional. She's worked in mental health for over 35 years. So she's taught me a lot about the importance of mental health growing up. And I know for a fact that prayer, honey, is not going to cut it all the way.
Right.
Jesus had put professionals in front of you so you can go get the help you need.
Amen.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Just like we depend on our doctors to diagnose us from the neck down,
right?
There are disorders from the neck up.
Right.
Okay. And we always tend to focus on the disorders from the neck down, which is heart disease, diabetes, cancer, kidney failures, all these other things. But what about the disorders from the neck up? We are one body. So we have to focus more on, the things that happen from the neck up, which is depression, anxiety, mood changes, all these other different things that we just kind of push to the side and we pray about. And that's good. Add that to your toolbox. Put that in your toolbox as a tool that you use when you go into those moments of uncertainty or anxiety or depression. That is a tool that we can use, but that is not always the go-to, because the fact of the matter is that these different disorders are a chemical imbalance, period.
Right.
Just like in your body, when you have cancers, when you have heart disease, when you have diabetes, it's an imbalance in your system. The same thing with your mind.
And sometimes some people may feel a certain way about mental health is because it's not something you can physically see.
Right.
So if you can't physically see it, people don't think it's real. When someone could be really suffering,
right,
and no one could know because they put on the smile every day, and they walk around, they do what they have to do, but
and they holding all that inside.
And it affects your body.
Right.
It does because it brings on stress. Mm-hmm. Because now I didn't get any sleep, so now I'm stressed out.
Right.
I'm not eating properly, so now I'm stressed out because I'm not eating properly. I'm not sleeping properly. I didn't get enough water intake. I'm not exercising. I'm not engaging with family and friends. Like, all of these things are just a potion for poor mental health, poor self-care.
Basically a disaster.
Exactly. And that brings on stress. And this is not the word of Lenee. This is #facts.
Yeah.
You can go and Google all of the information that I'm telling you, everything that I tell my patients, everything that I tell my students. This is facts. There is science behind self-care. And when you do not do self-care, it leads to stress. And there's science also about how stress adds to the body and it kills. Period. It's a silent killer,
right. It causes But one day out the week or one day out the month to practice self-care, whereas it's taking a shower, taking a bath by yourself, setting candles, relaxing your mind, or whatever you do, right?
Let me tell you, I don't recommend a day out of the month, a week out of the month. I recommend every single day. This is a non-negotiable. Self-care is a non-negotiable. Self-love is a non-negotiable. What is so bad about you investing in yourself every day, even if it's for 5-10 minutes? I don't care what it is. There are so many different tools out there that we can put in our toolbox to add to our self-care. There are always going to be moments where we are down, where we feel anxiety, especially right now, like Donna mentioned. The holidays are a trigger for a lot of people. It is not always joyous and happy. You're missing your loved ones that you've lost all year long. You are thinking about what has happened throughout the year, and this year has been crazy for everybody with COVID. A lot of things have been taken away from us. You're thinking about, what am I going to do next year? All of that stuff brings on anxiety. So yes, I really encourage my patients and my students to invest in self-care on a day-to-day basis. It is a non-negotiable, period.
Right. Yeah. People need to know this because they don't know. So what would you tell the viewers, how do you become mentally strong?
So going back to self-care, what I teach is that if you love yourself, you're going to protect yourself,
right?
Period. So we have to normalize the conversation in our households and with ourselves to love ourselves. It's cool to love ourselves. Men especially. I did a show last week. I had a guest on and it was a male, and he attended one of my workshops and he was blessed by it. He put together a self-care plan and he really truly invests in his self-care. And a lot of times men think that, oh, that's just for women. That's just for my aunt. That's just for my cousin. That's just for my, my niece or my daughter or whatever. No, self-care is for Black, white, young, old, rich, poor, Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter. We all need self-love. And when you invest in yourself, you will start to get away from the fatigue. You will start to get away from feeling these little things that you're feeling every day, depression, the mind fog, the disconnection with learning something new, because you're investing in yourself. You're getting sleep. You're getting 8 hours of sleep. You're drinking water. You're eating properly. You're going outside and you're exercising. You're connecting with your family and friends. You're journaling your thoughts. There's thousands of different things that we can do that are free to invest in ourselves, period.
Wow,
so if you start there, then you will create a pattern of this. Just like when you go to work, you get up, you go to work, you put your clothes on, you get in your car, you drive down the freeway, you get to work. You are there for 8 hours and you have a pattern of what you need to do so you can get your paycheck at the end of the month, right?
Right.
Same thing with self-care. You have to create a pattern of self-care, of a self-care routine.
Wow. But you know what? You helped me, because when we went to your workshop, man, my office space is, man, I want people to go to your workshop.
Thank you. So you decluttered. Yes,
I did. And I could
Good.
see I could breathe, because
Good.
it was stuff just everywhere and I couldn't think. I couldn't concentrate, but I didn't know. And then Dina was like, you need to do this and that. And I'm like,
Good for you. So what did you declutter?
See how she do me?
And then, it always takes an extra person. And that was you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for attending the workshop. And I'm so happy. This is why I do what I do, so that you can learn from these different tools that you can put in your toolbox. It's something so small as decluttering your office. So did you declutter your office or did you declutter everything?
Well, it was really my office. My office was just so much going on. But now I could think, I could concentrate more, and I could be more productive, and that's important.
Good for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
And another thing about your course, it put a lot of things in perspective for me personally also, because I realized what I learned about myself is I don't take time out for myself a lot.
Yeah.
I'm so worried about getting things done, and I guess trying to be a people pleaser, trying to do everything I can for others, and then I'll be forgetting. I'll be like, at the end of the day, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling kind of stressed and empty right now. So, and then that has my attitude not so good, so I'm projecting that onto other people.
That's right.
So that's very important. And I took some notes. She told us to take a little notes on.
Yes, I did.
So I can't wait to hear your notes. And one of the things you talked about was knowing your baseline behavior.
Yes.
Like you just said about your normal routine and how that switches up when you get stress factors in your life.
Yes. Nice. That's wonderful. And that's where I tell everybody, when you go to the doctor, your doctor is going to ask you what's your baseline. Well, what is your normal weight? Well, what do you normally sleep? What do you normally eat? Right. That's your baseline. That's what you do when you are at your best. You're living your best life. Nothing is wrong with you. I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. I'm socializing with my friends. I'm drinking 8 glasses of water. I am investing in self. But when you get stress factors in your life, that changes. So now you might not be getting 8 hours of sleep. You might not be drinking 8 glasses of water. You might not be engaging with your friends. So you have to really pay attention to those things that your body tell you when you're only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Well, what has changed? What's going on? And I think I shared the story with you, and I share it all the time because it's just so crazy to me, because I'm all about self-care. I invest in myself. I love myself, I know myself, and I am so invested in my self-care. But even me, who does her checks and balances, I fell off when COVID happened and we all had to work at home. I was not left up to my own devices when I go into the jail, and I have my own, my water cooler there and all that. So I had a pain on my side and a pain in my back. And I got so scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go to the emergency. Oh my God, I have to call the doctor. What is happening? I really thought my kidneys were failing. Like, I just thought the absolute worst. And when I did my own checks and balances, it went down to water. I hadn't had water in like almost a week. At work, I drink 12 glasses of water a day faithfully because I have a 5-gallon water cooler there that is like 100 feet away from me, and it's a trigger for me. I drink water. But when I came home and I had to work, water was the last thing on my mind. I'm cleaning up the house. I'm trying to make sure my office is together. Am I going to be on the Zoom call, right? Like all these other different factors came in, and water was the last little thing on my list. So I had this aha moment at 11 o'clock at night, and I started drinking water, and within 24 hours, all my symptoms resolved itself. So it went back to just the smallest little things. You know, we really need to pay attention to, get back to the basics, you know.
And I recognize things also with myself when I start, feeling a certain way. And this I realize is a symptom of anxiety, personally, because I've had this. I recognize this feeling because I've had it since I was a kid when I had certain stressors in my life. And I will explain it like, if people don't know what it is, you could feel like you maybe having a heart attack or something, because it's in your chest. And I explain it
in your throat.
Yeah.
The back.
And I explain it as someone like having a rope in my chest and doing this.
Right.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Doing this.
It comes in your throat, the back of your neck.
Yeah, you feel those physiological changes in your body. And that's what I share with my patients, that like when I teach anger management, you know, we go through our thoughts, we go through our emotions, and we go through our behaviors.
Right.
Well, if you can stop it at your thoughts, you don't have to go through your emotions, which now you're going to be harvesting those physiological changes. You're going to be stressed in the back, headaches, blurred vision, clenched jaws, you're grimacing. Things are changing. And then if you don't stop it there, then it goes to those behaviors where now I want to stab you. I want to hurt you. I want to knock your block off with a bat that I have in my trunk. You know what I mean? So we have to recognize those emotions in our body changing and stop and think about, what didn't I do? When is the last time I had a square meal? When is the last time I ate fruits and vegetables? When is the last time I drank water? How much sleep did I get last night? You have to really pay attention to those physical cues that your body is giving you.
But when sometimes anxiety or depression hits, it's some people eat more and some people eat less.
And that's your cue.
Yeah, for me, I lose my appetite. I don't want to eat.
And for me, I lose my appetite, so I lose weight.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that's in my circle of friends know that your girl can eat. Okay. So when I notice myself not eating all day, or maybe just eating dinner and I'm not eating a full meal, or maybe I'm eating a snack just to put something in my body, I'm like, okay, what happened today, or what's going on to where I don't have an appetite? Because I always have an appetite. So for you, when you're overeating, that's your own physical cue. Like, what is going on in my life where now I'm eating too much,
Right. Because I tell you, stress is one of the best diets. Because if I don't lose weight, if I'm stressed out, I lose it like this. I don't recommend that as a diet. But,
for sure.
It's not, whereas when you're on a diet, you're conscious of, okay, I can't eat this. I need to count my calories here. But when you're stressed out, you're not even thinking about eating because you don't have an appetite.
Exactly.
You feel full the entire day. And then when you notice it, you're like, dang, I haven't ate nothing. They still don't eat.
Exactly.
You don't have an appetite. So that's just all bad.
Exactly. And if that continues on for weeks and months and years, and people have these symptoms that go on forever, that's not proper health care. You have to stop and look at those triggers and talk to your medical professional and let them know this is what changed. That's what happened with me when I was diagnosed 25 years ago with depression. I stopped and I told my doctor, look, I studied myself for 2 years before I really sought out help. And I said, this is at this time of the year, this is what's happening. What's going on? And I told her my symptoms, and she said, I want you to talk to somebody else. I think you're dealing with depression. And that's how it all started off, from something just simple as me articulating and noticing that I was like going crazy towards the end of the year. From September to January, those were my cycles of depression. The holidays were stressful for me. They weren't always a happy holiday. My son was starting school. You know what I mean? Different things were triggers for me, and I didn't even know. I just thought it was like, oh, it's the regular year. You know, my son's starting school, big deal. He starts school every year. Christmas comes around every year. But it was a trigger for me because my emotions told me so. So it's just small little things like that. And if you feel those things, then I encourage people to, you know, talk to their medical professional for sure.
Do you, when you do your online course, do you give out homework so your clients can, you know, have checks and balances, or
yes,
they can?
I do. So with the workshop, I follow it up with an ebook that I created on self-care to just kind of reinforce what they've already learned. And then I also give an online journal, a digital journal, where you can print out, you can give it to your friends, your family, you know, have it there. Some people want to do it on their computer and their tablets, and other people want to have it tangible so we can, you know, they can make copies and change. Mm-hmm. But I also give them a digital journal to just kind of reinforce and track your behaviors. That's the most important thing. You need to really sit down and track your behaviors and sit down and think, do I need 8 hours of sleep? Sometimes people don't. Sometimes people only need 6 hours, but if that's what you need, track that. And when you go under it or over it, that's a mental health cue for you.
Right.
How do you cook a meal a day? Do you eat vegetables? Do you exercise? Do you journal? All these different things. When you're deviating away from those things that you do every day, you need to have those checks and balances.
Sounds good. Well, this has been a really interesting and insightful conversation, and I think more people need to be open enough to have this conversation.
See, that's the problem, you know. Yes. They're not, because they've been, right, you know, crazy. So I hope, you know, everyone tunes in, because this is some valuable, you know, information. Mm-hmm. And yes, I thank you for coming on. I mean, this is just wonderful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if any of your viewers need mental health resources like podcasts or books or different emergency hotlines, they can go to my website, is thecheckinonline.com. I have a blog. I have a vlog of videos of different things that I've you know, shared with people along the way, so they can feel empowered about loving themselves. And if you want to get any like t-shirts, you know, I have a lot of t-shirts, a lot of different nice. Start the conversation. I love this one. We actually sold out of this one. This is great for COVID right now. And then, you know, advocate yourself on mental health. And the point is to start the conversation. If you don't start the conversation, we won't talk about it. We will not talk about it. And 9 times out of 10, you know somebody that is dealing with the mental health issues, because statistics say, not me, but statistics say that 1 in 4 people deal with a mental health issue. That could be anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever it is, ADD, ADHD, dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever. But 1 in 5 of your friends deal with a mental health issue. And the point is to foster an environment where we can talk about it.
Right, and make it a safe environment.
Right.
Absolutely.
It has to be very safe.
Yes, for sure. So I thank you guys. And at the beginning of the year, I'm going to be having my online courses about self-care and about decluttering. I have a 5-day challenge about decluttering your life. It's not just about your office. It's about your medicine cabinet, your closet, your this, your that, and how the mental effects can really help improve for you to think and learn and grow better in your relationships. And I also have an ebook. So be looking out for that, because I've been working really hard on a lot of different things for you guys to be able to really empower yourself in terms of mental health.
Thank you.
We want you back. Anytime.
And go to my IG on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do give out self-care tips every Tuesday and Thursday on self-care. So I hope
your IG.
What is your IG? My IG is at the check-in online. At the check-in online. Tuesdays and Thursdays, join me there, because I'm gonna be home for the holidays by myself. My husband's a chef, so he's always off for every single holiday. So I'm gonna be home alone. So I was sharing self-care tips about what we can do in terms of putting together a good self-care plan.
Look, this is the question. Like if some of the viewers wanted to just like have a moment with you, like a consultation or some type of something, do you do stuff like that? Where they
I do.
How does that work? Tell us how that explains.
I actually have someone putting together a platform where I will be able to do self-care consultations, and in that self-care consultation, we will talk about what are you currently doing, because a lot of people, I'm so shocked, whether it's friends or my patients or whoever, they don't even know about self-care. It is crazy. So some people are at the basic level of, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how to invest in it. So I start from where you are at and we grow from there. So I will be offering consultations. Once you pay for the consultation, you can take whatever the amount of the consultation is. You'll get a coupon to also do the online course. So it'll discount the online course and you can get the full gamut. There you'll get quizzes. You'll get the journal, you'll get the ebook. You'll be able to go back to it so you can reference it with your children, with your husband, with your friends, to just teach them about self-care too. So yes, thank you. Thank you for asking about that. I forgot about that.
Okay. All right, so I hope everybody listens well and contact Miss Lenee Johnson, see her services. Everyone needs it.
Right.
Yes, you do.
It. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Take care.
Bye. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you, Lenee Johnson, again. She sent me a hot and cold mug too. It says "Just Breathe," another affirmation to remind you of your mental health. You can find her again on her IG, the check-in online, and the descriptions will be below.
Thank you, Lenee. And once again, make sure you get your sample of the Peekaboo Black Tea Spray.
Oh yes.
Protective style women out there, to protect that hair under those weaves, wigs, and all that. Make sure you get your sample. And those of you who have received their sample already, make sure you use it 2 times a week, twice a week. Spray this in your hair, massage it 5 minutes. That's all you need to do. That shedding, the moisture, it's going to stimulate that scalp and you're going to be able to see your hair growth. Make sure, get your samples.
It's going to be extremely reduced.
Yes.
So once again, thank you for looking at our show. I hope you guys gained some type of knowledge from this show. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. My name is Dina Felice.
And I'm Donna Dill.
And until next time, it's the Peekaboo Show. Bye.